I remember as a kid coming here with my family and shopping with my mom, my sister, and hanging out with my buddies, and even cruising the strip as a teenager.
The president of the Union Township Board of Trustees remembering his and Eastgate Mall's glory days, which he now hopes are going to return.
All options are on the table. You know, we could have a Liberty Town Center type theme or Rookwood Commons type theme, but we want to make sure whatever decision we make is good not only for today, but also for tomorrow as well.
Those options opened up by Hull Property Group. It purchased the main building portion of Eastgate Mall earlier this week for $11 million.
It's sort of like the dog that caught the school bus, to be quite frank with you, David. We don't know exactly what we're going to do with the property at this moment.
Eastgate is now one of 34 malls owned by Hull in 17 states. But to be clear, it only owns about half of what most people consider the mall. This diagram from mallcenters.com best illustrates it. Dillard's owns Dillard's, JCPenney owns its own building, Kroger just bought the old Sears building. Hull owns everything else, but has no control over the other parts, including Kohl's, which has a lease option through 2035.
What is going to happen with Eastgate Mall?
We have to stabilize the retail aspect of it. We've got to make sure that our tenants are secure. And our main goal there is to help them increase their sales.
Hull says it does this in part by refacing exteriors and covering up vacant stores. It leads to repurposed vacancies like this JCPenney turned Murdoch's in Texas, and major transformations like this mall in Pennsylvania, where Hull has turned the mall inside out, demoing the roof, removing stores, and making the remaining stores accessible from the outside. As far as the rest of the 80-acre property, Union Township has hired a design firm to do an economic feasibility study and collect community input to see whether it will become apartments, entertainment, park, a college, medical space, offices. The possibilities are endless.
There's a lot of data to be collected, a lot of input to be had, and a lot of community engagement to be done.
Before anything transformative happens in the overall 80 acres that is Eastgate Mall, or the 430,000 square feet that was just purchased, years will likely pass. But one thing you may see relatively quickly is things like improved lighting at the mall and putting up decorative walls where vacancies currently are. The new owner says that he wants to improve revenue for the existing tenants to stabilize the property.
All right, David.
Kyle?
David, thank you so much. And here's a look at some of the other malls around the area. The 90 acres of what used to be Forest Fair Mall is slated for a redevelopment, but a deal hasn't yet been reached for that. The developer wants to knock it down and build 4 light industrial buildings. Forest Park City Council hasn't yet approved the tax incentives for that deal, though. And there are plans to turn the old Tri-County Mall site into a development that includes 450 apartments, along with retail, restaurants, and recreation space. It will be called Artisan Village. The $1.3 billion project was unanimously approved by the Springdale Planning Commission earlier this year, but work has not started.
All right, from there we go to Colerain Township, where Northgate Mall is still open, but there are plans to redevelop it. We reported this week that the township is buying the old Sears building that's part of the mall for $2.2 million. It's been empty since 2018, and I think you'd consider this the gold standard here in the tri-state. By contrast, KENWOOD Town Center in Sycamore Township is thriving. It always has. It's home to 3 main department stores plus dozens of other shops that sell clothing, electronics, jewelry, and other housewares.
You can always find our local 12 stories right here on YouTube. Don't forget to tap subscribe, and then you can get all the notifications.